Is it live?
We are live.
Awesome.
Well, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Good. Well, this is the first episode of Outside the Squared Circle. Basically where I just get people to come on and talk professional wrestling with them. I'm sitting here with the one and only winner of the 2019 Mid-States Wrestling Rising Star Battle Royal, Johnny Lightning. Johnny, so glad to have you on.
It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. I'm going to get right into it. Basically, one of my biggest questions that I want to ask is, what started the whole Johnny Lightning?
Johnny Lightning started when I was in middle school.
All right.
See, I wanted to be a pro wrestler since, as far as I can remember, way before middle school. You know, like kindergarten, around 3, I think is when I really started to fall in love with it. But, like, you have to develop your character. You have to get the name.
Right.
You have to get the personality. And for me, I've been lucky enough to have it planned since I was in middle school, because I always knew the character I wanted, but I had to place a name to it, and then Johnny's a cool name, I figured. Yeah. So I was sitting at my grandparents' house, and it was in the middle of a terrible thunderstorm, and I was trying to think of a last name, and lightning struck right in front of me, literally like a light bulb. So that's how I got the name.
That's a really cool backstory.
It's almost like fate. Things happen.
You know, some things happen for a reason. I guess that was just...
So here we are.
Yeah. Is there any certain point that you remember, like if you were watching wrestling, that you really just looked at the TV and went, I really want to do that?
See, that's the thing. I don't really have that. A lot of people can point out to a certain point or a certain moment, but I don't really have that. I just remember watching it every Monday, and it was routine. Every Monday, it's been the only constant I've had. So that's just no specific moment, but just in general.
Yeah, I remember I was right around 3. I remember watching, I think it was rewatching WrestleMania 20, Kane versus The Undertaker, 2 of my all-time favorites.
Amazing match.
And thinking, that's something I want to do.
Right.
And it just followed me until now. I mean, it's one of those deals where I was in kindergarten class and they were going around, hey, what do you want to be? Mason, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a WWE superstar.
Right.
Room fills with laughter.
Oh, so everyone has that. Anytime you tell someone that, they're going to either chuckle or look down on you for it, or
but
the majority of people.
Wrestling just comes to show. Everybody just didn't all of a sudden say, hey, I'm just going to apply for this to see if I get it.
Right, yeah, exactly.
They have to have this want to. And just like you were talking about, you had this want to jump in the ring.
Right.
And look where you are now.
Right, exactly. And it's hard to explain, but like, if you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're not going to like it. But some people just connect with it, and it's hard to explain.
Right.
But it's definitely a feeling you get.
So I've been watching back and forth with some of your matches and everything.
Me too.
Who was probably one of your best opponents to go against?
Okay. Wow.
One of your favorite opponents to go against, I should say.
My favorite opponent. I have a really good chemistry with Alan Jefferson.
All right.
I think we work well together, even though I hate him. But and Jimmy Fiasco, even though
Fiasco,
I really enjoyed the dynamic.
Oh yeah,
between the two.
I remember my first time at a Mid-States event. I was with my brother, and it was in Springfield, August 10th.
That was it.
And you went to face Fiasco.
That's the night we don't talk about.
And I mean, honestly though, I was watching your performance in the ring, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, I like him. You know.
Thank you. See, that's always the goal, is to articulate something to someone that clicks with you.
Yeah, I was watching. It was whenever I was at the last event, the fan appreciation. I'm always that one fan that yells everything.
Right.
Like,
those are the fans we
whether
love too.
Whether I like the guys or not, I mean, I'll still yell something.
Right. Yeah. That's
Matt Riviera, for a big example. Love the guy. He's a great guy.
I love Matt.
But I just love throwing hate, and he gets that. We talked about it after the event, and he was like, dude, nobody has ever made me stop in the ring and laugh.
See, there's two kinds of hate you get from the fans. You either get that hate, that genuine dislike this person hate, or you get the love hate, which is like...
That's basically my relationship
I
with
have
most
fans
of the superstars.
that will heckle terrible things at me, but as soon as intermission, we're best friends.
Oh, yeah,
You know, so...
I mean, that's just kind of how I am. I mean, I just love being that one fan that everybody turns around at and laughs with.
Right, exactly. It's great. It's awesome. I laugh at my own heckles. People heckle me and I'll try not to laugh.
We were sitting there, Matt Riviera and Gary Roosevelt Graham was in the ring. They were fixing to have their match. And Riviera took off his robe, and I was just, being me. I feel like every time I say something about big people, I mean, I'm like, I can relate,
Right.
So I yelled, "Hey, put that back on. This is a kid's event."
Oh.
It got quiet, and I yelled, "I've seen less jiggles on Jello." And him and Boyd Bradford just stopped. He looked like he was about to cry. He was laughing so hard. And he said, "How am I supposed to be a heel if you keep making me laugh?"
Right.
It was so funny that Graham even turned around and started laughing.
That's hilarious.
Everybody in that building were going crazy. I mean,
that's awesome.
Any event I've been to of Mid-States Wrestling, it's always been a really good show. Fans seem to enjoy it, at least as far as I can see,
Right, oh, yeah.
And that's what I look forward to doing
and
in the years ahead.
Of course, I might be a little biased because I'm a homegrown Mid-States talent.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not disparaging any other companies, but there's something that I just love more than other places with Mid-States.
Right.
A combination of the fans, the production, the crew, it's my favorite.
Yeah, one thing that I truly I enjoy, I mean, it's about really indie scene, so almost.
Right.
I like the fact that it's not one big, very strict promotion.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's almost
the fans can
territorial.
go in and have a blast and everything, then get to meet the superstars that they've seen then, and not have to pay extra couple $100 to see them later.
Exactly.
I mean, I enjoy that because the fans look at the wrestlers and think, I want to follow his career, and maybe that will help me become who I want to be later on.
Exactly.
And that's just kind of how I am with most of the wrestlers that I see. For example, one of my biggest inspirations, The Undertaker.
Oh, absolutely.
He's wrestled for 29 years in the WWE, still going today, multiple surgeries, multiple injuries, yet he's still doing it.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to put myself through that much harm that he's put himself through, but I can easily tell that he has the want to, and that he has the dedication for the fans. He's even mentioned on one of his sayings, he said, "Fans pay to see The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I want to give them the best Undertaker I have."
Right.
And that's just kind of relate on to me, because I don't want to make it to where just one little house show doesn't have as much impact as a WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I view every show it's a good way to look at things, but it's also a bad way to look at things. I'm a very live by the day type of person. You never know what can happen.
Right.
You never know when your last day is. So every match I have, I wrestle it like it's my last match.
Oh,
because you never know, and wrestling's dangerous. Anything can happen. So you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So you have to just wrestle, give it your all every time, or it's not. What's the point?
Right.
Because there may be a person in that crowd that has never seen you and might not see you for another 6 months.
Right.
Depending on how that works out. So my one mission every show day is to make sure that somebody, preferably everybody, remembers me.
Right. And I mean, I can sit here today and say I did.
Thank you. And one thing I get a lot compared to the other wrestlers is people come to me like, "Wow, are you okay? That looked like that really hurt. Or are you good? That looked crazy painful." And I'm trying to figure out how to word it.
People always say wrestling is fake.
There's
a
stigma.
big difference
It's not
between a fake and choreographed.
Predetermined and fake are two entirely different.
Oh,
things.
Completely. People always say wrestling doesn't hurt as bad as what it looks like. And
everything hurts.
You sitting here today telling it just kind of
trust me,
clears the ground.
Waking up the next morning is always rough.
I can only imagine.
Especially for me, because I have a reputation of being more reckless with my style, and that's that's a good thing though.
That's just you.
If a guy lands on his, it's not smart for a guy to land on his head after something, but you'll be remembered for it, and I like to think I can take it. So
yeah, I mean, one day you'll figure out. I mean, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done.
And I'm always told like that'll shorten your career. I'm like, okay, but
man, I just. Whenever people say WWE is fake, I always just look at them. I mean, not just WWE. I mean, any wrestling promotion. Right. I'm like, so you watch movies because they're real?
Exactly. I mean,
there's a big, and like you just said, there's a big difference between fake and staged.
Right. Exactly. And it's kind of a shame that the cat's out of the bag, but at the same time, I mean, it was bound to happen eventually.
Oh yeah, but I mean, but it nothing that can really be avoided.
Right. And people throw that, but it's. I mean, you either enjoy it or you don't. It doesn't matter the circumstances of it, and that's kind of my thing.
Yeah. Is there anybody in particular, any group of people that you just looked up at the entirety of your career?
Are we talking about like WWE or
in general?
Obviously, it's not hard for anyone to figure out. My main inspiration is obviously Shawn Michaels.
Oh,
my favorite wrestler of all time, personal idol.
Great pick.
And so obviously, people make jokes like you're a Shawn Michaels ripoff. To an extent, yeah, but the character has its definitive differences.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd rather be a Shawn Michaels ripoff than anybody else. So
yeah.
It's not really an insult to me.
You know, it kind of feel almost welcoming. Someone say you're Shawn Michaels 2.0.
Right.
I'd almost look at them and just say thank you.
Because if they even look at me and think that, then that's a compliment to me. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think. I have multiple inspirations that I've looked up at. My entire life, I've been a huge fan of Kane.
I love Kane.
I don't know why. Just ever since I was little. I guess just his power with fire, as I explained whenever I was 5.
And he just looks cool.
Yeah. Literally, you can ask anybody in my family. Used to, whenever Kane would walk out to the ring with a towel over his head, I'd mimic that all the time around my house. I'd go get a dish towel and just put it over my head. And my family like, what are you doing? I'm like,
I'm Kane.
Boom! I mean, it's those certain people that just you watch for the first time, and kind of like how I did with you. I'm just like, I watched you for the first time, and I thought, that's something that I want to be a part of.
Right.
And being able to talk to you and talking to other people further ahead, I mean, it just kind of helps out the fact of that can really happen.
Oh, yeah.
Keep going and don't let other people's laughter put you back from what you want to do in your life and make yourself big and successful.
See, for me, it always motivated me more than anything. Like, if someone tells me I can't do something or that something is stupid, it makes me just want to do it more.
Oh, yeah.
So that helped me in a lot of regards.
It's almost like telling a kid, no, don't do that.
Right, yeah, they're going to do it more. Exactly.
The kid's going to be like, no, I really want to do this.
It's a reverse psychology thing.
Yeah.
And, like I've mentioned, I've always wanted to be a wrestler. I've never had any other career path, I've never even thought twice about what I want to do. So it came easy to me. Well, no, it didn't come easy, but the choice was easy. Like, I'm definitely going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you have to be 18 legally to train.
Right.
So I waited until I turned 18, and then I thought I might as well wait till I graduate high school. You know, there's a lot on my plate. And then the week after I graduated high school is when I started training.
All right.
So I didn't really take much time. And then I had some personal stuff happen, so I had to take some time off.
Right.
And then I went through a really rough patch a couple of years ago. But I finally got back to it, and I'm finally back on track.
Hey, that's what the good thing is. Whatever knocked you off, that just encourages you to get back up.
That's right.
Keep running. Did you go to the one in Harrison, the Jason's?
I did. I went to Jason's school, the Mid-States Academy.
I want to do that. That's what I want to do. I mean, he is a great guy in and outside of the ring. I mean, he kind of gives you that.
Oh, yeah.
You look at him, and he'll tell you straight up, hey, I want you to come train with me.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, he's a bit of an intimidating guy, believe it or not, but
I mean, yeah.
once you crack the shell, he's a great guy.
Oh yeah, whenever I first met him in Springfield, I mean, he was basically every time I'd see him, you enjoying it? Everything good? You need anything? You know, just kind of one of those guys that may seem intimidating.
Right.
But once you really get to know who he is, and that's really with anybody.
Professionally, I love him.
Right.
And he's the best trainer, coach, player coach I could have ever asked for.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't choose anyone else to train with, obviously. And he's taught me more than I could ask for and given me more opportunities than I could possibly ask for.
Right.
So I credit him with my entire career, from training to opportunities to helping me develop things and working on myself. But personally, we've got a beef that needs to be settled.
All right.
Obviously, his referees. So incompetent management is one flaw.
I did see the last little bit of this recent event.
Oh yeah, the cake.
Like, the cake.
See, I
And
don't know.
the little kid.
I don't know why we're having a kid's birthday party in the middle of this show.
Right?
I just lost a match, and they're bringing out a cake and this fake Power Ranger.
You know? But, I mean, I can guarantee, though, that made that kid's night, no matter who it was.
Right, exactly.
Whether if it was you, Matt Riviera.
Being in the presence of me made that kid's night.
Yeah. So, what is your future plans as far as in mid-states? What's next for Johnny Lightning?
Well, literally, next is March 7th in Harrison.
All
at
right.
the fairgrounds. I'm not sure what I'm going to be getting into there, but I've got a couple ideas.
All right.
And then, of course, March 28th will be in Springfield.
I'll definitely be at both of those.
In my immediate future is payback on the Mid-States management and the brass, because I should be the Mid-States champion right now, obviously. So the fact that I'm not means that someone's not doing their job right, and that needs to be corrected, and Jason Jones isn't correcting it, so I need to correct him.
All right. So, like, what... I don't really want to say what route, but I mean, like, do you think that soon enough you'll be able to get into the ring with Matt Riviera and take that title from him?
I would love to wrestle Matt Riviera.
He, from an outside standpoint, wanting to go in the ring, he looks like one of those guys that I really just look at him and say, I can't wait for the day that I'm going to be in the ring with him.
Professionally and personally, I love Matt Riviera. We always get along. He's a really cool guy. We have a lot in common, actually, musically, and, you know.
Yeah. Music's a major part of my inspiration for wrestling, too.
Music's everything. Music is everywhere around us.
Music ties to almost everything, if not everything.
Right, and I've heard wrestlers, like, obviously you pick your entrance music.
Oh, yeah.
And I've heard people just say, just do whatever you have. Just give me something you have on the playlist.
Yeah.
No. Like, your music should be an extension of your character.
Yeah.
Your entrance music is something that as soon as someone hears those first notes, they should know it's you.
Like, I know I keep referring back to The Undertaker, but I mean,
The gong.
you wouldn't want...
You hear the gong,
yeah,
you know it's The Undertaker.
You wouldn't want just some Undertaker picking something like, you know, although this would be cool, like Ozzy.
Right, yeah.
I mean that would
cool.
fit him.
Yeah.
But I feel like the gong and the slow walk,
Perfect.
blue entrance, that really fits and molds The Undertaker.
Right.
I mean, that's what he's done for the past 30
Exactly.
years. But I wouldn't be able to see it any different
Right.
if I'm just now starting to watch him or if I've watched him my entire life.
And obviously I can't use Rocket Queen forever because that's copyrighted Guns N' Roses music. But right now it's perfect.
Hey, you're
for
wearing
me.
Guns N' Roses
I
shirt
am wearing
already?
Guns N' Roses right now. I've been to see them, and I love Guns N' Roses.
I want to see him.
It's an amazing concert. And Rocket Queen's always been one of my favorite songs.
Mm-hmm.
Aerosmith is my favorite band.
They are good.
Guns N' Roses is a tight second. But, like, no Aerosmith song really... Maybe if my character was a bit different, I have an Aerosmith song in mind, but that's going to be a surprise for when that day comes. But
Stay tuned.
in the current state that my character's in, Rocket Queen is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It's pure, raw rock and roll. It's
I think
perfect.
I've always had this thought in mind. Anytime that I wanted to get into wrestling, I've always had the thought that whenever I start it, my theme song is either going to originate from Avenged Sevenfold or Metallica.
Right, either one,
You
perfect.
can't go wrong with them because
Awesome either way.
you can look at me personally, and for people that's known me for a while or people that just like started to know me, say, hey, I have a feeling that like Avenged Sevenfold or Metallica kind of fits who you are.
Right. And
Avenged
people can-
Sevenfold being my first concert.
That's awesome.
I mean,
See, a lot of times you can look at someone and tell what kind of music they like.
oh yeah,
Obviously, my hair's up in a bun, you can't tell, but when I have my long hair down and
yeah.
my style choices point out rock and roll pretty
Yeah, but I
quick.
mean, I've grown up around rock.
Me too.
I grew up with like Def Leppard and Led Zeppelin, Metallica, Ozzy, Black Sabbath, you know.
Right.
I've grown up around all that stuff, and relating that to my passion with wrestling, I don't want to really like copy like Nate Winchester because he has that whole like bad guy,
yeah, tough,
biker persona.
no nonsense.
He almost just looks like a straight metalhead in the ring. I don't really want to copy that, but I mean, I want to kind of tie that with my character because I mean, I love rock.
Right.
Rock is like my go-to with anything.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, you know, going out with like For Whom the Bell Tolls or Seek and Destroy.
Amazing. Yeah.
That kind of stuff would really signify who I am. Yeah.
Sting, Seek and Destroy. Perfect.
Yeah. You know, but I think if I had to choose between Avenged Sevenfold and Metallica to walk me out to the ring, no questions asked would be Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica, obviously. Top 5 of my favorite bands is Metallica.
Oh, definitely.
Top 5 for sure. Looks like we got some comments. Oh.
Get out of the way. Oh, that's my dad. Hola, boom, shakalaka, by God, I think he's... Oh, okay, I see. Someone say cake, what?
Oh, the cake, right, yeah.
He doesn't want you to mention that, Dad.
Now, the cake definitely beat my match with Jimmy Fiasco.
I mean...
If I can pick anything to get thrown in my face, I would pick cake.
That's probably the most easiest thing to get thrown.
So
I mean, it's not really as easy to clean up.
It wasn't the cake that bothered me, it was the symbolism of the cake.
Yeah.
It was the disrespect.
The birthday cake. Who should be mid-stage champion.
I should be mid-stage champion
and
right
that's
now.
kind of a...
How much better would it be if I had that mid-stage title on my shoulder
dude.
right now doing this interview? But because of referees, I'm not.
Yeah.
Let's backtrack real quick. I'm going to tell a story here.
All right. Go right ahead.
April 13th, 2019. That was the Battle Royal. I won that, obviously. My first match, and I won, and I beat 12 other guys.
Which is a huge accomplishment.
Thank you. We fast forward to August 10th. It's mid-states. It's Springfield. It's the one you went to.
Yep, my first one.
Me and Jimmy Fiasco. He uses a foreign object that the referee doesn't make him get rid of, and then the referee counts the 3 without disqualifying him. Jimmy Fiasco should have been disqualified. I should have won that match.
Oh, easy.
Then we fast forward to October 5th in Harrison. Okay, I won that match. I beat the Firecrackers, which is Johnny Dynamite and Alan Jefferson, with my best friend Joey Corman. Then we fast forward to November 17th, back in Springfield. We had the Gauntlet for the Gold. This is where my real problem comes from. At this point, I'm theoretically undefeated.
All right, yeah.
And my first opponent, I'm in the first round against Johnny Dynamite, the less talented, less attractive Johnny. And I have him beat. Were you there?
I was not, unfortunately.
But have you seen the match?
I did.
I had him beat, but the referee hadn't had his eyes checked and thought I had the tights, which I didn't, obviously. So, and I intentionally held him there for 3 seconds to prove that I could beat him. So I had Johnny Dynamite beat. I should have won that. Obviously, if I had qualified, I would have went on to beat All-American Alan Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
No problem, with ease. I definitely would have beat... Who was next? Jimmy Fiasco.
Fiasco, yeah.
I would have beat Jimmy Fiasco. I've thrown him out of the Battle Royal before. So, I mean, he's nothing to me. I could beat the Jolly Giant.
Yeah.
I definitely would have beat Dustin Heritage.
Yeah.
Because... Never mind. I definitely would have beat all 3 of those. I would have beat every single one of them. And then I would have went on and I would have sent Gary Graham running home with his tail tucked between his legs.
Yeah. So
I should be the mid-stage champ. And that's why I've been wearing the shirt that says uncrowned mid-states wrestling champ.
Right, and rightfully so, you know.
Metaphorically, I am the mid-states heavyweight champion.
Right.
Literally, I am not, but we all know who the real champ is, the rightful champion.
Whenever I seen you with Joey Corman at the last event in Harrison, not the last one, but fan appreciation, that's what I'm going to call it.
Right, yeah.
Y'all came out on top.
We did.
Which, that made me happy because I'm like, I brought the sign, you know, which y'all will be seeing here pretty shortly. But that was also where we seen the explosion of the team you were going against.
The firecrackers explode. Right. See,
No
they're
pun
just,
intended.
they're just not as cohesive as me and Joey.
Right. I guess it's
They
the
had their
communication
egos got in the
wasn't-
way. Their egos
The
got in the way.
communication wasn't on top where it probably should be, and that's what I can see with any tag team, whether it's on on the screen, in person, or just like being friends in real life.
Right.
Communication has that huge part in that entire team. Whether, like I said, whether it's in the ring or just on your own.
Example, their whole issue started because me and Joey beat them, and then when they got their rematch, they had a miscommunication. He ran into him, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, me and Joey would have made eye contact and known that it was all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta pick that team.
You have to find the right partner.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the whole deal. You got to find the right person, a person that will really just like, again, I say communication. That's probably one of the biggest things that I can see as being a fan. I haven't been in the ring yet, but whenever I do, that's one thing that I kind of...
Whether it's a tag match or your opponent, communication is key.
That
if there's not communication, something's bad's gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
no
easily.
doubt. Yeah. But after the Gauntlet for the Gold, forgot I've had 2 matches since then, or 3 matches since then. What was next? It was the next Saturday in Harrison. It was when we beat the Firecrackers again.
Yes.
And then that's when they had their issue. Doesn't affect me and Joey. And then December 14th would be the next one.
I was not there, unfortunately, due to
I also lost
work.
because of incompetent refereeing. It was chaos. It was an 8-man tag match. Everyone was in the ring. I didn't know who the legal man was.
Oh, easily. That can easily get confusing.
And I get caught up by 3 finishers.
That ain't fun at all.
Right. 2 of those people shouldn't have even been in the ring.
Yeah.
Technically.
I mean, you don't really...
By the rules of the land. Law of the land dictates one person legal.
One legal man for both teams.
So the fact that I got 3 finishers is
so
not
what
a good
do you...
night. And a cake.
Yeah. Was the cake good, though?
It was good.
Okay,
It was good.
That's all that
It was
matters.
good. The cake was good.
That's all that matters. I mean,
I would be more offended if they had thrown a cheap cake in my face.
yeah. But,
So.
I mean...
Only the best for Johnny Lightning.
Hey, but... that just made that fan's night, whether if it was you or any other superstar.
Hopefully it made everyone's night. I mean, that's a pretty memorable thing to happen.
Yeah, I mean, probably not sitting here with you. You're just like, well, I mean...
How many matches are on that show, and how many cakes get thrown at a guy's
Exactly.
face? You know, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I mean... One thing that I've kind of watched whenever I've watched you is... The one thing that really set me was, like, your performance in the ring. Win or loss, I don't really look at that.
Right.
I mean, winning's great, losing not so great, but it's...
You look at the performance.
It's the dedication that I seen you with in the ring, whether it was against Jimmy Fiasco or the Firecrackers. The only 2 times I've seen you live, I've seen your performance and I've seen your dedication in the ring, and that's really just what stuck with me. I'm like, he's dedicated. He wants to do this, and he wants to make this his career.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of people that you can tell that with. There's some people that you can't.
Right, yeah.
There's some people that you look at
It's
and
very real.
you start to question, did they really want this?
It's very real that some people, sometimes, some people do care more than others.
Mhm.
Like, that's what I'm trying to say without stepping on any toes. And some people, you know, it's just you got to find the right people. Some people are backstage, they're not happy or nervous, they're just there.
Yeah.
And you wonder, like, what's the point? If you don't get nervous on show day, like, the day I don't get nervous before a show, I need to go to the doctor because something's not right. It doesn't matter how many times you do it or how confident you are, the show day nerves are real.
Yeah.
Show week nerves, for that matter.
Like, hopefully he doesn't see this and kill me, but I kind of see that thing with Nate Winchester. Whenever I met him in Springfield, he almost
Right.
gave off that vibe of like, yeah, I'm here, I'll sign this.
Right, but
Get in
you
the
gotta
ring
think.
and, I'm here, I'm accounted for.
Right.
But I mean, that's just what I can see. I can't really see truly inside him where he's like, I really want to be here, this is just me.
But he's the nomad.
He is.
So he's got you there, you don't know.
He is a great performer, though.
Right, and see-
He does good. I have the DVD of his Falls Count Anywhere street fight with Jason Jones with referee Jesse Inman.
Right.
That was a great performance. Despite the loss, he still stood up and showed a great performance, as did
Right.
Jason.
Yeah, great match. Jesse Inman has it coming too.
Oh?
He got in my face. The newsboy needs to know his place. That's behind the desk, not in my ring. And he's got the nerve to come out here and ring announce and stand idly by, chuckling while I get a cake in my face.
At Jesse Inman, you're next.
He better watch it.
Call him Goldberg, because you're next.
You're next.
I mean, he's got more hair than Goldberg.
So me and the Nomad, we both have a bone to pick with Jesse Inman and Jason Jones.
So I mean, I can gotta see that little tag team match forming up here.
We're a deadly alliance, me and the Nomad.
Oh, that'd be unstoppable.
It's unstoppable.
Mid-States needs to have tag team gold.
We
I'll throw
definitely
that-
do.
I'll
Me
throw
and
that
Joey
out there
Coleman
right
would
now.
already be tag team champions.
easily.
We're the longest tenured team
And
in the Mid-States.
I mean, I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here. I mean, I'm saying that in general
absolutely.
because, I mean, you two individually show great performance in the ring and great want to, but as a team, it's unbeatable.
Thank you. Speaking of someone who loves pro wrestling, is Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Joey is a genius. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge, and he truly loves pro wrestling.
Oh yeah,
So, and everyone does to an extent.
yeah.
But I'm really, really, really grateful to be teaming with Joey. You know,
Oh man,
we decided to be a team, and it was his idea, and so far it's panned out well for both of us. And
yeah, and I mean, best of luck in the years ahead.
right, just this next weekend we're going to be in Pro Wrestling Mid-South in Tennessee in Dryersburg. So
All right.
this coming up weekend we'll go there, and where they do have some tag team gold.
I won't be able to be there. However,
Oh, that's all right. It'll be
I'll
on.
still try to find.
It'll be on. There'll be a video. I'll make sure there's a video of it.
Sweet.
We're just because they run shows every week in Tennessee, so it would be super cost ineffective to have DVDs of all their shows. Right?
Yeah.
So they usually just record them and put them on Facebook or
Hey, that's
So it'll be out there. I've already had one match with Mid-South, and it was a blast.
You were telling me about this match that you have coming up in Texas. I can't remember the.
We've got Texas, we've got Gladewater, we've got Marshall, and we've got I don't want to mispronounce the town. It starts with an L, so I'm not going to even try. Lufton, Texas, something like that. I'm sorry, Texas, but yeah, me and Joey, we're going to start doing the rounds in Texas and Tennessee.
Hey, yeah, I remember you talking to me about that, and I mean, I'm a fan of any wrestling, whether it's WWE, Mid-States, AEW.
Right, if you got to watch all wrestling. It's because that's how you broaden your horizon.
I mean,
You can't get boxed into one promotion.
I'll tell you this much: haven't watched much, and probably not. I mean, I don't want to say I don't care to as much.
Right, yeah.
Don't watch a lot of Impact now because it's changed.
I watch everything. The amount of free time I spend watching wrestling is mind-boggling.
Oh man!
Because you've got 3 hours on Monday, you have Impact, you have an hour, 2 hours, or whatever it is on Tuesday. Then there's Ring of Honor, AEW on top of that. New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom happened the past 2 nights.
That was Jericho's match. I can't remember the dude's name. Well,
Tanahashi.
Yes.
I am exhausted because I stayed up watching Wrestle
Oh
Kingdom last
my
night.
lord!
This morning.
It was. Anytime Jericho's in the ring, it's always.
Yeah, Chris Jericho is my 3rd favorite of all time.
He has that character. I mean, his participation in Fozzy shows who his character is in the ring.
Right.
Because he shows off this, rocker, getting in the ring.
Absolutely.
And, whenever he first went against Kenny Omega, had his own song to walk out to.
How cool is
what
that?
more can you want? And Jericho just gives off this vibe of, I'm the front man of Fozzy.
Right.
This has affected me today and shown me this is who I am.
Right.
Between Fozzy and whatever company he's going to be in, whether it's New Japan, WWE, AEW.
Right.
Which, that's one that's going to be in Springfield in
I heard about
February.
that. Right.
Let's try to go. I got to figure a day.
I think WWE's in Springfield this weekend.
Maybe?
I don't know. I know some of the Springfield guys are going.
Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty cool to sit and watch. I've been to multiple WWE events. AEW would be good one to cross off. That way I can actually say that I've seen Jericho live in person.
Yeah.
I've seen Moxley, Dean Ambrose.
Formerly.
Yeah. I've seen him. I've seen multiple other people. I just figure, go to another company to figure that out, I figure that'd be pretty fun. And as far as, like, any company that I want to go into in particular with pro wrestling, me getting into pro wrestling, no doubt about it, WWE is one of those.
That's the goal for everybody.
Oh, man.
People might say not, but deep
WWE
down, everyone wants to be
probably one of, if not the top pro wrestling company in the world.
It's easily number one in it.
Despite storylines,
I think it'll be number one forever. It's got too much of a head start, and it's such a juggernaut.
Love it or hate it, they are on top, and there's really nothing anybody can do about it.
Love-hate relationship.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier.
NXT, I've maintained for the last 3 years that NXT is my favorite wrestling show.
Oh yeah,
weekly,
easily
best wrestling show.
Man, War Games.
The takeovers are always amazing.
Oh, takeovers are almost better than the pay-per-view that they're opening up
almost
for.
Consistently, right? So.
What was it? Last year's 2018 Money in the Bank. They had a takeover right before it.
Right.
And
it blew it out of the water.
Oh man, I was watching Money in the Bank and I'm like, this has nothing against what happened on Takeover. I mean, I think the best thing about that night, I don't like Baron Corbin. I'll tell you that straight up.
Me neither.
But other than him winning the match, I didn't care for. The biggest thing that kind of moved me closer to the TV was the first confrontation between AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right.
Two of the world best performers in the ring.
Right, yeah.
And two people that I look forward to hopefully meeting and getting in the ring with in the future. AJ Styles, he's been everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, Joey Corman has wrestled AJ Styles.
Has he?
Yes.
Lucky guy.
Joey Corman has wrestled AJ Styles. Oh, would have had him too. Would have had him too if it weren't for a pesky tag team partner.
It's always partners.
There's always something.
Oh, yeah.
Guys like me and Joey Corman, we don't just lose. There's got to be
there's some
circumstances.
Kind of, like blind referees.
Bad refereeing is a theme in mid-states. It's like the NFL.
Yeah.
We need new referees.
Yeah. I don't follow a lot of NFL, but I just kind of know.
I don't either. I watch sometimes, but
the only time I watch it's whenever I'm at work and we're slow.
Right.
My boss is sitting there just watching it, and I'm like, "So who's losing?" And he said, "I don't care what happens as long as the Patriots lose, I'm happy."
Really, that's most people. A lot of people are happy after last night.
I can't really say much because I'm not a huge football. I'm not really into much sports.
Me neither, really.
Only because I've grown. If I were to pick between going into professional sports or music. Easily music.
See ya. Where was I going with that? I lost it. No. Okay, yeah, I don't really have time for many other TV shows or sports because I eat, sleep, and breathe pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, and that goes all the way back to dedication,
right? And
the dedication that you have to your job.
There is not an hour in my life that I don't think about pro wrestling. That's not an exaggeration. Except when I'm sleeping, obviously, and then I'm dreaming about it. But I wake up, I immediately go for a run. Come home, I work out, I eat breakfast, shower, get ready, work. Whole time I'm at work, I'm thinking about pro wrestling.
Oh, easily.
What I'm gonna do, character stuff, matches I'd love to have, envisioning matches, envisioning feuds that I could have, and then I get home, I eat dinner, work out again, go to bed.
And then just do the same thing over.
That's my routine. And when you're working out for pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I wouldn't work out if I wasn't a wrestler.
If there is anybody in just mid-states itself that you want to be in the ring with but haven't yet, who would it be? Somebody that you cannot wait to jump in the ring with.
The easy answer is everybody, but I'm trying to think.
If there's any one person that you're just like, if I get in the ring with this guy, it's...
I want Jason. I want Jason Jones. Yeah, because it's an interesting dynamic. Mm-hmm. And who doesn't love a teacher versus student story? It's full circle.
Yeah.
It's,
Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
what happens when a no you didn't
Kind of shot that back, you know what I mean?
yeah, but what happens when like it's just I really want to wrestle him, and nobody's better in mid states than Jason other than me, obviously. But
yeah, I mean,
or Matt, he's
Matt.
the champ. I'd love a shot at that championship, and I'd love to wrestle Matt Riviera in general. Be an honor. So
it would.
Or Jason. It's an honor either way.
Matt Riviera has had a career that can easily just be like he can hang up the shoes now and it'd be good. And multiple matches with the King Hall of Famer Jerry Lawler.
Yeah. He's gonna retire him
January 18th.
January 18th at CWA.
Next Saturday.
He's gonna put him out. Take
if
him out
I had a way there, I'd be there.
See, I'm wrestling in Texas, so.
But I mean, hey, it's still something wrestling.
Me and Joey, even though he's my tag team partner, we would have a barn burner of a match. Me and Joey would tear it down.
I'd love to see that. I mean, I wouldn't love to see like the explosion of the tag team. Only because
the all-nighters.
Y'all have
the all-nighters are nylon knit. We're
easily the chemistry together is just through the roof.
Mark my words, we're taking some tag titles this year, whether it's Mid States or League of Lions or Mid South. We're taking someone's tag team title.
Mid States needs to watch this and know y'all need tag team gold.
And of course, in Mid States, I'm not entirely committed to the tag team. At my core, I'm a solo wrestler. But
but I mean something to.
Who better to learn from in ring than Joey?
Oh right.
The experience I get with tagging with him is invaluable.
Yeah, and that's the thing right there. You gotta, whether you're solo or whether you're a team, you gotta like. Whether you're going against the person or you're tagging with the person, I mean, you still have that kind of chemistry, I guess, with them. It could be you two together would have the greatest match against each other, but also be one of the best tag teams.
Right, exactly.
Example, Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Right.
Bitter rivals, but some of the best matches I have ever seen in my life watching wrestling.
Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Oh, man. They will...
SummerSlam 2002. It's one of my favorite matches.
I was just born right when that happened.
Yikes.
I was born June of 2002.
Golly. See, I was starting kindergarten.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still young, but people think I'm older than what I am. I get that all the time if I'm more work. They're like, yeah, you want to come drinking with me? I'm like, dude, I'm 17. You
right?
are?
Yeah. See, the thing is, like, when it comes to that, pro wrestling, you don't usually expect super young people to be in it, but they are because they get an early start.
Yeah, and that's the main thing right there. Well, Undertaker was in a tag team match at the start.
He was.
With Sid, yeah.
That's true.
Dad, you're old, jeez.
It's a great memory, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
though, that is.
Good team, too.
Yeah, I mean,
you can look at anyone like Shawn Michaels with the Rockers with Marty Jannetty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Windows 91.
Sting with Ultimate Warrior, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone starts. It's common to start in a team. Obviously, I have a little bit of a head start before I got in a team, but not enough to amount to.
Kind of makes me think of like Miz and Morrison.
Right, Miz and Morrison.
Miz started out in WWE with a team.
Yeah.
John Morrison.
He was in Eminem before that.
Yeah, so, Johnny Nitro.
I mean, Johnny Nitro and Joey.
I remember that really well because they had a great rivalry with the Hardys.
Right. Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
I mean, which I doubt. I'm not gonna. I want to be in the ring with the Hardys.
I know you're a Hardy fan.
Oh man, Jeff and Matt Hardy. I mean,
one of the greatest tag teams of all time.
Easy. They'd win tag team of the year every year if, like, they still did the Slammies.
Yeah.
I mean, they do occasional like match of the year, superstar of the year, But if they had the Slammies and they were in, even now, they would still get honored tag team of the year.
Right.
Or tag team of the century.
I think we need some year-end Mid-States awards.
Oh.
See who would win those. Excuse me.
Jason?
I know he's watching this. He's going to make sure I watch what I say. He's going to be looking at me with an eagle eye. But we do need some year-end awards. I think it'd be awesome to have some year-end awards.
Nope. The Road Warriors were the best of the best.
Ooh.
Okay. You have me there. Road Warriors were.
It's amazing that your eyes can read that from here.
Sometimes I can. Sometimes I like.
I can't see without these.
But I mean, tag teams though, they make a big staple in history of whatever company that you're with.
Yeah.
Like WCW, they wouldn't be who they were without NWO.
Right. Exactly.
One of my favorite factions of all time.
Oh yeah.
Evolution, like
DX.
It's the
right.
DX. You know, the Brothers of Destruction.
The Four Horsemen.
Yeah, I mean,
there's so many iconic tag teams and
wrestling can't just be one-on-one.
Right. No.
Fatal four-way triple threat. I mean,
it'd be hard to find a wrestler that was never in a tag team.
Oh yeah,
it's impossible,
easily.
Because everyone tags with somebody, whether it's a long-term partnership,
whether they don't like to admit it or not.
Right, whether they like to admit it or not. And
Nate Winchester and Aaron Crane.
That short-lived.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm going to be a better partner to Nate Winchester.
Yeah.
If and when we team together, because we have an unspoken agreement. Or
Yeah.
it's a spoken agreement. That's why I tried to no avail to help him in that street fight.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think
I did my job. I got him the kendo stick.
Yeah.
I got him the kendo stick. And I took a pretty good hit in return for it.
Yeah. If Jesse and Inman were to get in the ring, I'd definitely love to see a tag team match between you and Winchester and Jason and him.
I'm sure somebody's listening to this that
can
make that happen.
Not just my dad.
I would love to get my hands on Jason and Jesse Inman for that matter.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got the guts to get in a wrestling ring to compete.
He's probably got to take off his suit.
Yeah, he'd have to take
I
off
was watching WrestleMania 3 pay-per-view. Cost us like $15.
Wow.
Ultimate Warrior was a knockoff. Was a knockoff to the Warriors. Yeah.
One of the greatest matches of all time was WrestleMania 3.
Yeah.
Steamboat and Savage.
Oh,
I still watch that match on a regular basis.
Easily.
It's an amazing match.
I think one match that I always go back and watch, I mean, I wasn't born then, but just still one of the best matches I've ever seen was WrestleMania 6 with Hogan and Warrior.
Oh, just amazing chemistry.
Ultimate Warrior just in general.
It clicked, yeah. And Hogan is...
God rest his soul, but I mean...
biggest stars of all time.
Oh, yeah.
If it weren't for Hulk Hogan, wrestling wouldn't be what it is today.
Oh, easily. There's a lot of people that you could say the same thing with, but Hogan is really one.
Hogan started the boom.
Oh, easily.
And I don't think Vince McMahon could have chose anyone better to carry the company in the 80s than Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
nobody else could have done it.
Body slamming Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3.
I'm always going to be a Roddy Piper guy.
Yeah.
Because Roddy Piper is one of my favorites of all time. So is Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Same time period.
If I were to pick of all time favorite between now and forever, my guess is probably still going to say The Undertaker. I've been a lifelong Undertaker fan. Yeah. Either Undertaker or Austin.
Two extremely good choices.
Austin unfortunately had his career shortened longer than what he wanted to, but I mean, you kind of can't help that. It doesn't matter.
He's already had more success than 90% of anyone ever will.
The only
time he wrestled.
The only man to win 3 Royal Rumbles.
Right, yeah.
Which I haven't been in one. I've always watched them, but I've always heard people say that is one of the hardest matches to compete in.
I've been in
because you have to watch your back.
You're on a swivel. Your head's on a swivel
all times.
I've been in 2 battle royals. One I won, and one in Tennessee, Mid-South. I mentioned previously, another great company. And I was in the 20-man, $10,000 challenge battle royal.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can imagine my disappointment when I got eliminated from that.
Oh man.
Johnny Lightning was
I'd jump back in the
payday. I should have. But I pulled double duty that night, and the guy I wrestled before the battle royal wanted some payback, so he dumped me.
Yeah, the only guy I've seen wrestle twice in the same night was Mr. Saturday Night. And he had that match against... He was with Blue Bolt.
That's right, yeah.
And he faced Winchester and Aaron Crane, and that was when the whole thing exploded and the big rivalry between Jason and Nate started.
Yeah.
I just seen that all implode. I mean, I could see whenever they first got in the ring, I just looked. Those were one of the teams I can look at and just say, that won't last.
No, 2 egos. See, the problem with tag teams is people let their egos get in the way.
They don't need 2 complete opposites working together on one main project.
Everyone wants the spotlight. Alan Jefferson and Johnny Dynamite. They both like to pretend that they're the squeaky clean American heroes, right? Johnny Dynamite showed his true colors. Now it's only a matter of time before Alan Jefferson's phony facade is exposed to the world. Exploiting American flags for his own ego. That's all that is.
Yeah,
that was a little side rant, my bad.
It's all right. This is what it's for. It's a wrestling podcast.
A wrestling podcast. I mean, Johnny Dynamite. I don't appreciate the name infringement, Johnny. There's room for one Johnny. There's a match, Johnny versus Johnny for the rights to Johnny.
Yeah.
No, not really. I wouldn't risk losing that because I don't want to change.
No, I wouldn't know what.
A referee would mess it up.
Oh, easily.
At this rate.
Special guest referee.
I'm gonna say it here. This is my next shirt. Theoretically undefeated, Johnny Lightning.
Yeah.
I am theoretically undefeated. Technically not. Theoretically I am. In my own mind. Because I would have won every match that I've lost if it weren't for shoddy officiating.
Yeah. And again, to Springfield, that was... You had it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting next to you. I'm saying that because I was literally sitting in my seat watching, and you had that go of like... It was just a matter of time before you were going to count the 3 on Fiasco.
Cutting down that sequoia tree that is Jimmy Fiasco. I was just, if you remember the match, if anyone watched this remember the match, I was just celebrating a swift kick to the inner thigh.
Oh, yeah.
I kicked him in the inner thigh, and I jumped up to celebrate. And when I turned around, he had a foreign object that won't be named in his hand, and the referee should have took it from him.
Oh.
Referee stood back and let it happen.
That should have called a disqualification.
Dude, disqualification, Johnny Lightning is the winner.
Oh.
I won that match.
Easily. And I was sitting there, I was in my seat yelling, "Come on,
How is that not a DQ?"
And me and my brother were looking at theirs going, just like, open your eyes. Like,
yeah.
I can't remember who was the referee.
It doesn't matter, it's referees.
Yeah, you're
And then
right.
we go back to the gauntlet match. I had a grasp on his lower back, not his tights. Go back and watch the footage. Like, my hand might be a little bit like this, but, you know. Referees.
That just proves that the refs are only in it for the money.
Only in it for the money.
I mean, that's also one thing that I wanted to do too, was referee.
Yeah.
Only because, I mean, I want to be a professional wrestler, but if there's anything that I'd want to work with for the company,
you gotta get
it'd be
in
either
there.
a referee, ring announcer.
Just anything, yeah.
And just working for a wrestling company in general, I mean, that's just something I figure would be kind of cool.
If these referees keep it up.
And seeing as I can see Brett, that's why the Hogs lost. That's why the Hogs
lose in football.
He's right. He's right, though.
Bad referees.
Right. It's referees. Referees are the evil in sports.
Oh, easily.
This lion's about to start going after some zebras if this keeps up because I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, me as I can see these comments from right here, I mean, I'd be able to see whose shoulders are on the mat, who's got a foreign object,
Why do you think Jason Jones made Jesse Inman the special guest referee in his match with the Nomad? That's a guaranteed victory.
Oh.
That's why
I probably should have put this 2 and 2 together before, but I mean, I'm just now starting to see.
Do you really think Jesse Inman would have called that down the middle if Nate Winchester had gotten Jason down?
No,
he wouldn't have.
Nate Winchester had Jesse Inman, like, by
the shirt,
yeah,
by his collar, had him shivering in his shoes.
He was fixing to beat the brakes off of him.
He was. And I tell you, the Nomad would have won if it weren't for Jesse Inman.
Yeah.
If it weren't for Jesse Inman.
Although that was a pretty good Falls Count Anywhere match.
Objectively a good match.
Yes.
So that's why I went out there. I don't meddle in other people's business. That's not how I am. But I saw an injustice, and I saw an injustice that needed to be righted by an outside force.
Right.
So I brought a kendo stick down there to even the score. Because Jesse Inman is about as useful as a kendo stick.
Yeah. I mean, it'll only work for just a little bit of time, then it'll just break off.
Exactly. Jesse Inman is as thin as a kendo stick.
Yeah. So, one of my main, probably one of my final questions is, is there anybody in particular that, if you weren't teaming with Corman, that you would want to team with basically just in general? that you
Nomad. I'd like to team with Nomad because I think that'd be another good dynamic.
Oh, easily.
Brains and brawn, the strength and the speed. He's more rugged than I am. Obviously, I'm a pretty boy. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm out to protect the money. But that old mug, doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not trying to be pretty. He's trying to be mean.
He's just trying to prove his character, the Nomad. And I mean, that's exactly what he does.
He's also he adopted my hairstyle. He wears a
yeah.
bun. That's our team name, by the way. Sons of the Bun.
I see that. I can see that on a t-shirt right now.
He would strangle me if I made that our team name. How about Pretty Mean Guys? Pretty Mean Guys. Pretty Mean Guys. There we go.
I can see that.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
That was off the top of my head, ladies and gentlemen. Right off the top of my head.
Oh, I can see that right now. I mean, I can see that on a shirt.
Pretty Mean Guys. You have 2 different fonts. Have Pretty font for me and then Mean font for him.
Yeah, just get some kind of Metallica font, and
perfect,
just put that for me. I can see that. That looked great.
Here's something else. A lot of people have that masculinity about them that it makes a guy mad to see a guy like me wearing pink tights with his long hair beating up somebody. So that gets you hate right there.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's wearing pink. I'm going to boo him. So that's strategic, too. Like, I do that that's obviously on purpose.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some people that can pull off a heel persona. There's some people that can't.
Yeah.
You can pull off a good heel persona.
It just says
because,
something about...
I mean, you have that in the ring... I can just see in your performance that I think he's a heel.
Yeah.
Fans will boo him, but that won't stop him from reaching his potential.
Right, thank you. Yeah, and I mean...
Same thing with, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
He makes a perfect heel. I could see that in the ring, and I could see that in his mic skills.
Right, yeah.
Kevin Owens, not Brock Lesnar.
I need to get...
I'm gonna bleep that out.
Oh, no.
I'm not mentioning
Brock Lesnar.
his name.
Just redacted.
I don't.
Redacted.
I don't like that guy by any means.
No, I mean,
if you're gonna be the champion, at least show up within a couple months.
Fair. There's a 30-day. There was supposed to be a 30-day rule.
There is in the WWE handbook. It does say
30 days.
If you do not defend your title within 30 days of winning it, or your last title defense, you will be stripped of the title.
Rules are bent. Rules are made to be broken.
Brock Lesnar last wrestled at Survivor Series for the title, and that was in November. We're in January. He won the title in October.
But rules are flexible, as they say.
Not for everybody else, but just for him.
That's true. Just like...
He's just got... I really wasn't... I don't think anybody was whenever he beat the streak.
No, it's just something you don't want to see.
Brock Lesnar's not one of those people that I really would have imagined beating the streak.
No.
I wanted somebody and maybe The Undertaker chose him to.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Undertaker even said on his podcast recently with Austin on the WWE Network, he said, I wasn't ready for the streak to be ended. He had suffered a concussion in that ring, and whenever he went back, he passed out and collapsed.
Personally, I would have never ended it. I
wouldn't want to end it because the streak is, despite his great wrestling and just the legend of The Undertaker, the streak is really the streak is The Undertaker.
Yeah, it's
21 straight consecutive wins without any losses.
It's amazing.
Not being able to walk out of one WrestleMania in particular, 27, after he faced Triple H.
Right.
That just shows that he, again I say, dedication. He's dedicated to what he's doing. And honestly, if I were to see anybody, and I'm not just saying this because he's one of my favorite wrestlers, right. Kane. Kane would be somebody that I'd like to see win because,
you think Undertaker, you think of Kane.
If it wasn't for Kane, if it wasn't for The Undertaker, you wouldn't have Kane.
Right.
Because, the story just boiled up, and then October 5th, 97, at Bad Blood.
You can't think of one without the other. They're connected forever.
I'm going to be honest, it kind of shot me down whenever I found out they weren't real brothers.
Everyone has that moment where they realize it.
Growing up, I was like, Kane is Undertaker's brother. Paul Bearer is their
I
dad.
remember finding out that.
Then I found that out, and I'm like, what?
Maybe question everything.
I'm like, are you?
I distinctly remember.
Sure, you know, flipping through books and.
I distinctly remember being a kid being terrified when Kane took his mask off. That's one of the most terrified I've ever been in my life.
He did look pretty ratchet.
I didn't want to watch it. I was sitting next to my mom and buried my face in her side because I didn't want to watch it. You know,
but,
terrifying.
I mean, with or without a mask, he's a great character. And, I mean, I'm just fixing to get his new book that he released, Mayor Kane.
Right, yeah.
Because he's doing great stuff in Tennessee because... You know, you wouldn't think a professional wrestler jumping into the world of politics, which, I mean, I don't pay much attention to anyway. But I won't see, if I ever see him in Knox County, Tennessee, I won't just say, hey, look, it's Mayor Glenn Jacobs.
Right, it's Mayor
I'll
Kane.
Be like,
it's Kane.
That's gotta be Kane.
That's gotta be Kane. Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
If there's anybody in the history of that company that I would meet, it'd be Kane.
Yeah.
And I've seen some pictures and stuff of that where you've met, like, Mick Foley recently. That's like another guy that I'd love to meet. Like
Adam Cole was cooler.
Adam Cole, yes. Mick Foley, I think whenever I would meet him, the first thing I'd ask is about the Hell in a Cell match.
A lot of people are asking him that too.
And I mean, you know, it's probably silly, but that Hell in a Cell match has really just kind of put that picture on Mick Foley just saying... He won't stop for anything.
It might have just been the timing of when I met him, but he kind of rushed us along. Didn't really want to have a conversation.
Yeah, it's probably just a lot of people.
Kind of rude, but you know, whatever, it is what it is. But when I met Adam Cole, he had a conversation with me, really nice.
Another one that I want to meet, that I've seen that you met in some pictures, is CM Punk.
CM Punk was awesome, too.
Punk is...
He's a lot harder to meet. I had to follow him to a hotel, yeah.
Really?
No, I went to a taping of a TV show that I heard he was going to be at in Springfield called The Mystery Hour, which is a really funny show, by the way. And
I'll check that out.
We know that the Hotel Vandevort is a little ways down the road, and he said that they mentioned that he was going to be there, so I was like, I'm going to go over there and catch him.
Oh, yeah.
Because CM Punk's, he was my favorite wrestler for a certain period of time. And
Punk is just one of those characters, hate him or love him.
Yeah, I love him. He's amazing.
He had... His title before he left WWE was perfect. The voice of the voiceless. Yeah. That has stuck with him forever. Mm-hmm. Between his battles with Vince McMahon, his battle with Triple H, Kevin Nash, John Cena, you know, stating that whenever he won the WWE champion, he was going to leave with the title. But, I mean, spilling everything out like it was everything.
Yes,
I mean, he basically just like didn't really tell a whole lot of secrets, but I mean, he let people in on a lot of stuff that mentioning different other promotions and wrestlers on TV. I mean, that's kind of breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, and there's definitely a wall that shouldn't be broken.
There has been something that's been mentioned in 2019 recently on Monday Night Raw with Corey Graves and Sami Zayn.
The AEW thing.
Where,
and I mean, if you don't acknowledge your competition, then I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but you wouldn't think you'd see that, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, exactly.
It's something that you're just like...
They kind of pretend it doesn't exist.
It's like... And you can hear Graves just like, Sammy, you know, careful.
I mean, when they announced that segment, I was like, someone's gonna... AEW is gonna get brought up. You know, it has to.
It's sooner or later something's gonna happen. I seen a video online where a kid was... They do little, like, contests at live events during commercials and everything where it's like... Alright, I'm going to name off these nicknames, and you name off the character,
right,
whoever it is. Yeah. The lady mentioned Best in the World, wanting
CM Punk.
Shane McMahon, but the kid said CM Punk.
I remember that. I watched that.
And the building went nuts.
I mean, that's another thing. Like, you got to be careful the way you word things.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, easily I'd refer CM Punk before
that's
Shane
who
McMahon.
I associate with. Is Best in the World is CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and every wrestler needs that catchy nickname.
Oh, yeah.
It took me a while to find
the
mine.
Voice of the voiceless, you know, Best in the world.
And, of course, I've been using your girlfriend's favorite wrestler, John.
Hey, but that fits.
It fits, yeah.
That matches who you are. I mean, it's...
So, I mean, that's a good one. I almost went with Simply Striking because Lightning
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a striking appearance. But no, I went with your girlfriend's favorite wrestler.
Hey, but I mean...
And that looks good on a t-shirt. That
It
looks good on a
does.
t-shirt.
It does. I'll give you that. Make some hats that says...
And I've got a design here that I'm going to put on t-shirts that a very talented friend of mine made. It's my phone background. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh, wow.
It's a girl with like a lightning bolt shaped sucker. And that's going to be going on a t-shirt.
I'll be sharing that around, and y'all make sure
it's on my Johnny Lightning Pro Wrestler page if you want to see it.
All right. The one last thing before we close this off.
He's getting a steel chair.
No.
He's getting a steel chair.
Is I made the sign for fan appreciation, and I mean it's just past Christmas, and I wanted to give it to Johnny Lightning.
Oh man, I love that
Mid-States
sign.
Wrestling. Ride the Lightning. He had mentioned to me before that he's loved Metallica, and it made me think, Johnny Lightning, Ride the Lightning, 2 and 2 match together.
Perfect. It's perfect.
And so, thank you for being you.
That is amazing.
Wrote, thank you for being you, and signed it. I mean, it has your autograph on it.
This
but
is going up in the Johnny Cave.
It's... Who else would it go to?
See, in my garage, I get some jokes about a shrine to myself. I have like all my gear that's retired in frames. This is going up there amongst the posters and gear.
Definitely.
Because that's amazing.
All right, guys. Well, I thank y'all for...
Real quick, I'm going to give some advice real quick.
Go ahead.
Because I've been thinking about this lately. And you want to be a pro wrestler.
Oh,
I'm sure
yeah,
plenty of other people want to
definitely.
do. And you can attribute this to anything. If you have a dream, you got to follow it. Right? And that's cliche, but I started training in 2016. And then I took some time off. Some personal stuff happened. Some circumstances that are just excuses, and I shouldn't have used them. I came back. I went back to training. I got back on the horse almost a year ago today. So, and within 3 months, there was the Battle Royal. But a year ago New Year's of last year, I was literally at rock bottom, personally.
Man.
Like, I had just lost who I thought was the love of my life, my 2 best friends, my job, and my car.
Man.
And I was laid up in my mom's house, feeling sorry for myself, laying in bed for 12 hours a day, not eating, not showering, not taking care of myself. And then one day it was just like a light bulb went off. I was like, what am I doing? Why? Wrestling, yeah. And it's all my little sister, because I love my little sister, and she knows I want to be a wrestler, and she's my biggest fan now, obviously. But we were watching wrestling, and one day she just asked me, she's like, when are you going to do that? And I was like, ugh.
You're right.
Because
kid.
I don't care as much about failing myself as I do her. You know?
Right.
So I do it for myself, but also do it for her.
Mm-hmm.
I do it for my fans, everyone like you who appreciates what I do. And
Oh, definitely. And I mean, I like a whole lot of wrestlers. I don't have like a personal friendship with them, but I can truly say with you, I'm happy to have this personal friendship.
Absolutely.
And inside the wrestling event or outside the wrestling event, it just kind of fits.
Right.
I mean, great minds think alike. I mean, have some of the same interests like music and wrestling. You know,
absolutely. And it doesn't matter. So my point to that was, it doesn't matter where you're at in life. It doesn't matter what you think is going wrong. It doesn't matter what your circumstances, your problems are. Just if you follow your dreams, everything will be okay. Yeah. And now a year later, I'm booked until May. I mean, I had like 7 or 8 matches this year. I have that many in the first 2 months of this year.
Sweet. So
that's progress, and you just gotta follow your dreams, and it'll make everything else right. Once you follow your dreams, and you do what's best for you, everything else will fall into place. But you can only help yourself.
Right.
I had to get myself out of bed and get out of my slump,
own,
and now here I am.
You are your own motivation.
Right, and now
you can get motivation from anybody else. I'm not saying that nobody's words mean any different than yours.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I mentioned you have to have the want to. You have to have the dedication. You have to want it.
Yeah, and I've always wanted it, but I got
definitely.
so off. It's easy to get off track no matter how determined of a person you are.
Oh, definitely.
And all those things together just had completely derailed me, and I was at rock bottom, pity party, lamenting in bed, just feeling sorry for myself. But you know, all it takes is one day, one good day, and then you can turn it around. And that's what a difference a year makes from being.
Definitely.
I wasn't even close to being a pro wrestler, but a year later, booked until May, doing pretty good for myself, feeling good. Not trying to brag, but you know.
Hey, but I mean,
it's a major upgrade from last year.
I mean,
I've met some amazing people. I have great friends. So, real quick before we go,
me.
Mason included, but I'm on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Lightning Pro Wrestler, so you can keep up with my escapades.
I'll share that around the.
Yeah, just link my social media, and then I've got a new theme song that's actually worked on. I'll give you the scoop on that too before I say it to anyone else. I've got a very talented, beautiful friend named Josie Campbell, and she's gonna record me a theme song.
Sweet.
So I'll have a Johnny Lightning exclusive theme song.
That's awesome.
So and she's gonna be famous before long too.
Yeah, let me know whenever like.
And I know your music, your love for music, so I'll give you first dibs on that.
Sweetness. So
she's gonna be recording that, and the T-shirt design is coming out, so everything's coming together.
And if, like I've mentioned before, for any big event, like say like a WrestleMania worthy Mid-States event,
that's coming.
You want something to walk you out to the ring? I got a couple guitars.
There we go. See, I might get you with my friend and work on that song because.
I mean, you wouldn't want me to sing because everybody'd leave.
Oh, she's got the most beautiful voice in the world. So
sweet. Then I'll
with
just
your accompaniment,
I'll just let you that because
that song. I mean, I'm really excited to see what she comes up with for me because she's got a beautiful voice. Gives me goosebumps.
Oh man.
And that the T-shirt design is done by Kirsten Collins. If you want to look her up, she's also my tattoo artist. I have a lightning bolt right here.
All right.
It's my only tattoo. I'm not a tattoo guy,
but. Yeah, with all of his merchandise and music and everything, I will definitely get those out as soon as I hear about it and as soon as I get information on it.
And of course, this wonderful gentleman and his podcast, you got to keep an eye on.
First episode, I mean, it's Facebook Live.
It's a great first episode.
It's nothing huge, but I mean, greatness awaits. Sony once
who knows
said.
where it's going to be a year from now?
Oh, definitely.
It circles back. Where was I a year ago?
Right. Next guest, January 25th, is who we had just recently mentioned in this podcast, the All-American Alan Jefferson.
Hey, you tell him, you already, you've put yourself in a bad position because you can't go up from here.
I mean, I have to talk to wrestlers about it.
You'll just have to have me on again.
Hey, I'll
come back.
I wouldn't mind that.
We can easily have another hour-long conversation.
Hey, that wouldn't be bad at all.
No, I'd love to be back.
Yeah, I definitely would have you back, and for future events, I'll maybe pull some superstars aside and record, and I'll talk to them. It's kind of like how the slop drop does,
absolutely. Be sure to tell Alan Jefferson I think he's a fraud and a phony, and that I want a piece of him.
All right,
because he
likes the page, so
he had the nerve to walk down there after I lost unfairly and just stare at me. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being on.
Absolutely. It was awesome being on.
And I appreciate
Thanks everybody who watches this. Thank you for watching.
Share this around. Share this to some of your wrestling friends, and let's make this rise to the top. I appreciate you guys.